In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 24th, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Wyoming versus Brigham Young University. The Wyoming Cowboys will be trying to pull off an upset when they face the 19th-ranked Bayou Cougars on Saturday night. The Cowboys are coming off a 17-14 win over Air Force as 16.5-point underdogs. The Cougars are coming off a 41-20 loss to Oregon as 3.5-point underdogs. Brigham Young University is 9-1 in its last 10 games against Wyoming, in a game that was essentially over before the fourth quarter even began. The Cougars managed just 61 yards of rushing in Week 2, marking consecutive games with 83 rushing yards or less. Defensively, they were abysmal yet again against the run, as they're now allowing over 162 yards per game. Wyoming's offense definitely isn't considered explosive, but their best asset is indeed their rushing attack. Where the Cowboys have won games this season has been on the defensive side of the ball, specifically in their last 2 contests. They just held the nation's #1 rushing offense to a moderate 171 yards on the ground last weekend and held their Week 2 opponent to just 15 yards. Before last weekend, the thought coming into this game was probably that Brigham Young University would obliterate Wyoming. That may no longer be the case following the Cowboys' impressive performance in Week 3, compounded by the letdown that was witnessed from this Cougar squad. Brigham Young University should still win this game, but it probably won't be easy. The Cougars have covered in just 2 of their last 6 contests and don't match up particularly well with Wyoming. The Cowboys, meanwhile, are on a solid 6-3 run against the spread in their last 9 games and have to be oozing with confidence following a huge upset win a week ago. That confidence should leak over into this matchup and propel Wyoming to a solid performance, whether it comes out victorious or not. Side with the Cowboys. So the Wyoming Cowboys to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. As bad as the rushing attack has been for Brigham Young University up to this point, the passing game has definitely shown up every week and been ready to lead the way. Quarterback Jaron Hall has tossed for at least 261 yards and a score in all 3 games this season for an offense that ranks 33rd in the country in passing. Wyoming is definitely a defensive-minded team, but its secondary has probably been their worst asset. The Cougars' inability to stop the run matched up against the only thing this Cowboy offense has working right now means there should be more scoring opportunities for a Wyoming offense that hasn't had many of them yet in this campaign. After last week's game, the over is now 6-2 in Brigham Young University last 8 games. It is also hitting at a fairly alarming rate in Cowboy games recently, going 7-3 in their last 10 contests overall and 4-1 in their last 5 away from home. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah versus Arizona State. This Saturday, the number 13 Utah Utes and the Arizona State Sun Devils will match up in the 4th week of the 2022 college football season. Kickoff will be inside Sun Devil Stadium. Both these Pac-12 teams will be looking to make a statement, as this is their first conference game of the season. The Utah Utes are coming into this one after taking down San Diego State Aztecs 35-7. The Utes could do whatever they wanted on the offensive side of the field, and their defense also showed up. They will be looking to carry that momentum over into this game. The Arizona State Sun Devils are entering this one after falling to Eastern Michigan 30-21. The Sun Devils struggled to move the ball consistently on offense, and their defense couldn't stop the run. Their front 7 has to be better if they want to avoid another crushing loss to Utah. Utah is 17-7 against the spread in their last 24 conference games and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall, while the over is 7-0 in their last 7 road games. Arizona State is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 home games and 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games in September, while the under is 4-1 in their last 5 games against a team with a winning record. Utah handled the visiting San Diego State Aztecs 35-7 last Saturday, covering the 20.5-point spread as a home favorite. Cam Rising threw for 224 yards and a career-high 4 touchdowns in 3 quarters in the easy win. Rising is the first Utah quarterback since 2017 to pass for 200 or more yards in the first 3 games of the season. He is really finding a groove this early in the year and faces an Arizona State team that has been shelled over their first 3 weeks. On the contrary, the Utah defense has been elite. They have allowed the second fewest passing yards per game and held their opponent to a single touchdown for the second consecutive week in their 35-7 win over San Diego State. They have covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games dating back to last year, and Cam Rising and the Utes' run game will have a big advantage against a reeling Sun Devil club that just fired their head coach. So the Utah Utes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Arizona State was embarrassed as a 22.5-point home favorite by the Eastern Michigan Eagles, falling 30-21 and firing Coach Herm Edwards after the game. Sean Aguano, Arizona State's running backs coach, was named the interim head coach Sunday and will take over the duties for the remainder of the year. They were destroyed on the ground last week. Arizona State's defense allowed Eastern Michigan's Samson Evans to gain a career-high 258 yards on 36 carries with a touchdown. The Utes are the Pac-12 second's top rushing team at 216.7 yards a game, led by Tavian Thomas 232 yards on 50 carries with 4 touchdowns. That is a bad combination for the Sun Devils, but a welcome sight for the under. As long as the Utes use the ground game consistently here, this game will go way below the total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Stanford versus Washington. A pair of programs from the Pac-12 take the field in search of a victory as they clash up in the Pacific Northwest. The Stanford Cardinal are on the road as they make the trip up the West Coast to take on the number 18 Washington Huskies Saturday night. Stanford had a bye week last week. They were defeated 41-28 by number 10 USC in their previous contest back on September 10th. Washington remained unbeaten as they took care of business against number 11 Michigan State 39-28 at home last Saturday. In the all-time series between the programs, the Huskies own a narrow 44-43-4 advantage, including a 20-13 road victory in the most recent matchup on October 30th, 2021. The Cardinal played well offensively in their first 2 games, but their defense was a liability. They couldn't stop an overmatched Colgate team from running the ball down their throats and also struggled against the run in their game against USC. The Huskies have done a great job running the ball, and they're even better at throwing it, with the second best passing attack in the country. The Cardinal couldn't stop the pass in their last game, giving up over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Huskies in this game. Offensively, Stanford has done well running the ball, but they won't pick up a lot of yards against a Washington defense that has been great against the run and held a run-heavy Michigan State team to 42 yards in their last game. They aren't as good against the pass, but they will be able to bring pressure and force McKee, who threw 2 interceptions against the Trojans, into making costly mistakes. So the Washington Huskies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Stanford has split their 2 games in relation to the total so far this season. The Cardinals saw totals of 51 points in the game with Colgate before winding up with 69 points in the USC contest. Those games had totals at the sportsbook of 52 and 66.5 points, respectively, so the Cardinal could easily have been 2-0 either way had things gone slightly different. Washington has gone over in all 3 games this season and 5 of their last 6 dating back to last year. The Huskies have seen totals of 65 points versus Kent State, 58 versus Portland State, and 67 versus Michigan State this season. Those games had totals of 62.5, 55, and 56 points at kickoff. Look for this game to be another high-scoring affair as Washington piles up points to put this past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.